Propaganda, as defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is the spreading of ideas, information, or rumor for the purpose of helping or injuring an institution, a cause, or a person. It comes in many forms, from political speeches, posters, and advertisements, to cleverly encoded messages in films and television shows designed to appear to be merely entertainment, but which covertly spread a carefully crafted ideological message at the same time. With the invention of film and television, propaganda took on a whole new role compared to its earlier forms in newspapers and radio. Most people think that propaganda films are something that only a communist country like North Korea would produce, or dictatorships like Nazi Germany, but the truth is that every country produces propaganda films, and nobody is better at it than Hollywood. When President Obama was hoping to get Obamacare passed into law, a long list of celebrities were rolled out to voice support for the bill because of their incredible influence over the mentally enslaved general public. But not only were Hollywood celebrities used as obvious propaganda puppets, various social impact agencies or Hollywood lobbying agencies were used to get pro-Obamacare messages inserted into the plots of popular television shows as well. One group paid $500,000 to studios and worked with them to provide storylines so people watching the programs would learn about Obamacare and how great it would be. Whether you agree with socialized medicine or not, an incredibly powerful propaganda campaign was used to help promote it and get the law passed, much of it under the guise of ordinary entertainment. Executives at the Fox broadcast network, not to be confused with the Fox News channel even though they're still part of the same conglomerate, have openly admitted that they use their TV shows to promote various political agendas as well. One such plan was to promote concerns about supposed man-made global warming or climate change or climate disruption or whatever buzzword they're using. Now, I have a rare copy of their internal video showing them talking about it. Here's then Fox Television chairman Gary Newman.
The biggest thing we've done is inserting messages about the environment into some of our content.
The most powerful way that we could communicate the commitment on behalf of our company was to change the practices within the production, as well as work in a message about global warming, about environmental changes, and about empowering people to take responsibility.
Fox shows like The Simpsons, King of the Hill, My Name is Earl, Family Guy, 24, and more have all contained global warming alarmist messages. But political propaganda disguised as entertainment encompasses so much more than just messages about global warming. One of the top priorities for almost a decade now is glorifying and celebrating gays and transgenders. Rapper Macklemore and Ryan Lewis won a Grammy in 2014 for Best New Artist and Best Rap Album because of their single Same Love, which promoted gay marriage. And during their performance at the show that year, 33 gay couples were married on stage. While still strongly opposed by many Americans and not yet legally recognized in most states at the time, it was obvious what they were doing at the Grammys, which years ago used to be about music instead of inundating the audience with cultural Marxism. Films like Brokeback Mountain, Milk, The Imitation Game, and countless others have been used to promote their agenda as well, and such propaganda is always awarded Oscars and Golden Globe awards for doing so, but that much is obvious. It's the war propaganda that's the most covert. The one thing that neocons in Washington, D.C. and Hollywood liberals agree on is that they like to promote the military-industrial complex and our seemingly endless involvement in wars halfway around the world. What most moviegoers don't know and don't even think about is for movies like Red Dawn, Zero Dark 30, and American Sniper to be made, the Department of Defense works as producers on the projects and are given script approval before they'll allow any military equipment to be used to help make them. In order for Hollywood studios to be allowed access to military bases and the use of aircraft carriers, tanks, and other equipment which is used in the movies, the government has to approve the script to ensure that the project is pro-war and pro-government. After all, they're not going to allow a film crew to use a fleet of tanks or aircraft in a movie if it's going to present an anti-war message. While the big studios have an almost endless supply of money for set designers and props, they don't have access to jets, tanks, and other proprietary military equipment, and CGI can only go so far. They need the real thing. So there are government offices that were created specifically to work with the Hollywood studios. They're called entertainment liaison offices, and Michael Bay, Ridley Scott, and Steven Spielberg all work with them in order to get the military vehicles and other equipment that is used in their films. The CIA also has their own entertainment liaison office for movies and TV shows that are about the Central Intelligence Agency or involve them as a major plot point. Once given a script, they review it and return it to the producer with their recommended changes, and if the producers agree, then the CIA will provide almost anything the production company needs. Films like these serve as infomercials for the military-industrial complex, encouraging people to join by painting war as exciting and glorious, and always for a just cause. Did you know that we got involved in the Vietnam War because of a false flag known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident? Those kinds of things will never be mentioned in mainstream movies. Needless to say, movies that show the real horrors of war, like Platoon, Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket, and others, have to go without government assistance, and either can't include expensive military vehicles or have to rent them from foreign governments. Our government using Hollywood to produce war propaganda films isn't new. During World War II, Disney was hired to do the job. One film called The Spirit of 43 stars Donald Duck, which encouraged Americans to pay their income taxes in order to help fund our role in World War II. Taxes to defeat the Axis was the theme of the film. Another Disney propaganda piece that also starred Donald Duck encouraged Americans to buy war bonds in order to support the troops during World War II. Now, you may be saying that that's for a good cause, but it's government propaganda nonetheless, and nobody at the time even gave a second thought about the government using Disney characters to promote their agenda. Do you remember the Kony 2012 viral YouTube video from 10 years ago? That 30-minute documentary promoted a campaign to capture or kill the African warlord Joseph Kony, leader of the Lord's Resistance Army. And Kony 2012 was the first YouTube video ever to get 1 million likes and the most viral video ever at the time. Celebrities from Justin Bieber to Kim Kardashian helped spread it through their social media accounts, and a few weeks later the U.S. Senate passed a resolution condemning Joseph Kony and agreed to send troops from the African Union to help find him. But the film's surprising popularity was no accident. It was produced by a charity called Invisible Children, which used a high-power public relations firm called Sunshine Sachs Associates to promote it. That PR firm was co-founded by a man named Ken Sunshine, who has close ties with Barack Obama. And many people became suspicious of Kony 2012 immediately, since the video seemed to come out of nowhere and went viral so quickly. In hindsight, it appears that it was a carefully crafted propaganda campaign to promote the United States getting involved in another conflict halfway around the world. The military-industrial complex had been eager to join the fight against Joseph Kony and the Lord's Resistance Army, but since they weren't a threat to the United States and had no direct connections to us, drumming up support to go after him would have been impossible. But thanks to the viral Kony 2012 video, everyone was talking about him, and despite living in a country few Americans could even find on a map, Uganda, he became public enemy number 1. If you like my serious reports like this, then you'll love reading my book. So order Hollywood Propaganda, How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture in paperback from Amazon.com, or download the ebook from Kindle, iBooks, Nook, or Google Play. My books are a lot more in-depth and hardcore than my videos, which I have to tone down a bit for obvious reasons. So head on over to Amazon.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.